Hello and welcome to Soulful Scrutiny, and on the couch in the studio with me today is Rachel Charles Browne. Rachel Charles Browne is the general manager of a 5-star boutique hotel or resort in the island of Antigua. And I'm having a conversation with her today because I like to scope out our Caribbean talent and people that are doing something and doing something amazing. And I think she's an amazing woman. So welcome to Soulful Scrutiny, Rachel.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to be in New York in this cold weather. You left Antigua and you're on the beach in a hotel, okay? I think I'll trade places with you.
Okay.
But anyway, we wanted to bring you into the studio because you're doing an amazing job. You're in the island of Antigua. You're originally from the island of St. Vincent.
Yes.
Okay. And just to give you a little background information, you studied in the United States. You got a scholarship. You said you were working at a resort in St. Vincent as a receptionist and you were given a scholarship. And so you went into hospitality management and ecotourism.
Ecotourism.
Right? So that's at a young age and you really prepared for this job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, so you went into this industry, to this field of study, and then you came back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and you were island manager for Palm Island, which is another resort
Yes.
in the island of St. Vincent. And from there, you went on to be a marketing manager for St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism. What areas were you marketing?
I was based in London,
Mm-hmm.
and I had responsibility for the entire UK and Europe.
Okay.
So I worked under the Ministry of Tourism and reported directly to the Minister of Tourism and the Permanent Secretary.
Okay. So you have quite a history in this industry, and then from there you went on to Hermitage Bay Resort, which is where you're at right now. And this is really it sounds like a very exclusive kind of place. It's a boutique type resort, and you said you've been there now for how many years?
Yeah. I've been at Hermitage now for going into 11 years.
Okay.
But if I just go a little bit back, because my involvement in this industry started at Young Island in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and I had no intention of pursuing studies in this field. It was just a job until I get to where I wanted to get to, which at the time I thought it was law.
Mm-hmm.
And Vidal Browne, the owner of Young Island, or part owner, he said to me one day, "I think you're a hotelier." And I thought, okay. And then the opportunity for the scholarship with USAID came around, and I grabbed that, went to the US, did my studies in hospitality management and ecotourism, and here I am.
Okay. So some people would say, "Oh, you're lucky," but I said this is hard work meeting the right opportunity, because it sounds like you really prepared yourself for this position, and you kind of discovered that this was your calling. Not that you actually set out, but you kind of discovered that somebody tapped you and said, "I think you're going to be good at this."
When I think about it, is that hospitality is what comes naturally to me. And when I decided to pursue studies in hospitality, it wasn't a fashionable thing to do. People wanted their children to be lawyers and doctors and accountants, but to work in a hotel, it was like a no-no. But I won't say I was lucky at all. I think Mr. Vidal Browne's words to me was divine intervention, and that just set me on the path that I was destined to be.
Right.
And I have on my desk at work, I have a little sign that says, "When you choose to do something that you love, you never work a day in your life."
That's so true.
And I don't feel I work.
That's
I
right.
feel like my life is one big happy party.
Right. But I want to go back to your childhood. And I want to explain something that I'm sure people who know us, because we're both from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, would say, "Why aren't they mentioning that you're related?" So your grandmother and my father were brother and sister. And she actually delivered me.
Yes.
There's a story where there was one village nurse, and she was in Rose Hall, the nearby village, delivering a child. And then they sent to call her to come deliver me. They said, "Well, she's delivering another child." My aunt had studied nursing, but she wasn't currently a nurse at the time. And she was called, and she came and she delivered me. And I always thank her for my beautiful belly button. I have a total innie. She did a great job. But when the nurse came, I remember my mother said, my aunt did everything, but she did not cut the umbilical, the navel string. And she said, the nurse said, why didn't you do that? She said, well, I didn't know if you were going to give me any trouble, And he said, no, cut it. Because she was tired, she just wanted to go home, because she did come after she was finished with the other child. And my aunt cut it and did everything to me. And it was not until after I was had a special love for her, but never knew about the delivery part until I probably didn't pay attention.
Right.
My mother would have told me and I didn't pay attention. So I want to just explain that because people knowing us would say, well, they remember, saying
right,
cousins.
Right.
So we're first cousins once removed by the second cousins. Okay. So so here's the thing. So knowing that family background, you would say to me, you said to me in a conversation that you actually was being prepared even way back as a child from the family background that you had of servicing and being social.
Yes.
Or sociable. Your grandmother was the village postmistress. She was the midwife. She was the seamstress.
She was everything.
Everything. So people would, she had this big 4-bedroom house, 2-story house, and people would come to learn to sew, they would come to chat or get advice from her. She was a very outspoken woman. So without realizing it, your preparation was from far back there.
Yes. I mean, growing up in rural St. Vincent, Trumaka, which I dearly love, my grandmother, she loved things to be done in a very orderly and classy way.
Right.
So even, like you said, our home was like a community center. And probably I would dare say a bed and breakfast, a hotel, what have you. But we had to set the table correctly.
Right.
Even though you were going to have bread and butter, you had to still set it.
The table.
So all those things I saw growing up. I also saw how she took care of people and made everybody feel really special, which is what we do in hotel. And so just watching my grandmother, and then subsequently my mother, I think it's just what is in me naturally. So not only do I run a 5-star resort, but I am not only the GM, but I'm a counselor to staff and guests alike. I am a psychologist sometimes to staff and guests alike. And I am there to make people feel happy and reconnect with themselves a lot.
Right. And you're here in New York, and I went to pick you up, and you weren't there because you were running late because you were picking up donations to pack barrels for charitable stuff. So you're doing charitable work as well.
Yes, of course. I'm actually here on doing our annual roadshow where we meet travel agents and speak to them about the destination and Hermitage Bay. But at Hermitage Bay, we also have a charity, the Hermitage Bay Charitable Foundation. So what I've been doing for the last 2 days is packing barrels to ship back to Antigua so that we can share with those less fortunate during the holiday season.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. But here's the thing, it even goes back from your grandmother. It goes back from my grandmother, which is your great-grandmother. Because the people in Chumacoda always noticed that she was, when most people would just eat a piece of bread or whatever and a cup of tea, whatever she had to feed her children, they used to always set the table formally. So that side of our family, even with our family, that's where we got that from. Okay, so that you were prepared for even beyond your grandmother.
Yes.
And going out to your mother, Rose Claire Charles, I did an interview with her, and this is a lady who is not just a social person, and not just a person who believes in servicing in her community, but a humanitarian.
Yes.
She is a person who was AIDS activist, HIV/AIDS activist, worked with the United Nations for some 10 years, I believe.
Yeah.
And then she went back to St. Vincent. There she is. I visited her and did an interview with her recently, and she's still there in that capacity, helping people with HIV/AIDS to help put their lives back together and try to give them some semblance of normalcy.
Yeah, I think she's our entire family. We're a love of people, and we've been taught to serve and know that there but for the grace of God, and so it's our duty to help those less fortunate, and I think that is what drives my mom and drives me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So you're the island manager. Not island manager. You were island manager.
I was island manager.
General manager at Hermitage Bay.
Yes.
And you are a mother.
I am a mother of a beautiful 13-year-old.
Aria
Rose.
And you're married to Jerry.
And I'm married to a wonderful man, Jerry.
Right.
who without him, I don't know what I would do in terms of juggling the career and the family life, because hospitality takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like my days would start at 5:30 most days.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do the home stuff and then I'll get into the office for about 8:30. And then I could be there up to 10, 11 sometimes at night.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm off at about 8 p.m. But he really helps
He
on the
holds
home
things down
yes.
with the baby.
Yeah.
Well, not a baby. She's not a baby anymore.
The young one.
and so, here's the thing. People see us in these I'm about to get to something here. In this high-profile position, and they don't realize the sacrifices.
Oh.
And you just mentioned something. It is so good that you're acknowledging him, because I'm doing the career and the business things, but I'm doing it as a single mother. And oh my God, it makes a difference. But the thankful thing is that I have my daughter who still resides with me. She has a son, and we kind of raise both boys together, and we're able to manage as if it's two parents sort of.
Right.
Because when I can't do something, she does it. She can't do something, I do it. So it's really important to be able to have somebody who's there supporting you.
Oh yes.
Now you're one of the, at least that I know of, you're the only person, a Caribbean national, who's running a 5-star hotel in the Caribbean that I know of.
Yeah.
Okay, there may be
female.
female. The only female Caribbean national that's running a 5-star hotel that we know of. There may be other females running, but right now for somebody running a 5-star hotel that is from the Caribbean, within the Caribbean region, so that's not some small shoes to fill. That's
I mean, I've been blessed, and it is not to say that Caribbean nationals doesn't have the talent, but a lot of time we're not given the opportunities to be at the upper levels in hospitality management. So I've been blessed to be working for a fabulous couple who owns a resort, Andy and Liz Thiessen, that sees people for who they are, respects people's talents, and really understand that to be authentically Caribbean, is not a bad thing to have a Caribbean national at the head. Because we bring that flavor. Yeah.
Because when people leave our cities, when people leave New York, and they leave Canada, and they leave UK, they don't want to come down there to an island that reminds them of Caribbean and Canada, and America and Canada and the UK. They want to come and have
the real thing.
Yeah, and who would understand that better than a Caribbean national?
Exactly.
But how though did they get to the place where they kind of noticed you for this job and realized you're the best person for this job?
Yeah, when I left the government job and moved to Antigua, I went there.
Your husband is Antiguan.
My husband is Antiguan. So I moved to Antigua, having another job at another resort. But this was a really big resort. It was like 280 rooms. And I got there and realized, oh God, this is not what I want to do. And then somebody said to me that there's this hotel, brand new, has just opened up, the Eco, very secluded, very upscale. And I applied for the assistant manager position, got that, and within 3 months I was promoted to general manager. Yeah.
So explain the ecotourism part of it.
Right.
Because I think we understand the hotel, the hospitality management, but explain that.
Right. So the property is Green Globe certified. That means that we do everything in a sustainable way. So then we do a lot of recycling. We have our own organic garden. We take care of those less fortunate amongst us, because that's a part of the sustainability and being a helping hand to your brothers and sisters.
Right.
We try to have a very limited carbon footprint. So everything that we do is done with the environment in mind. We'll take our guests cockle fishing in the mangroves. We'll come back and prepare a meal for them. We'll do lots of garden tours. We'll recycle our water, that type of thing.
Okay, wow, okay. And it would in an industry in a world, I should say, where we're moving a lot towards more healthier way of eating, because let's face it, a lot of foods that we're eating really messing up a lot of our health.
Exactly.
So I think people appreciate when you can go to a resort that focuses on that part of it.
So we do our organic gardening, we do our copper fishing. We like to say our food is, most of our food is zero food miles. It's from right there. Ecotourism is the study of taking care of the natural environment even while you are doing the touristic things. So it's all about making sure that your green footprint is very high and that your carbon footprint is very low. So for instance, at Hermitage we're a member of Green Globe, which means that we have to prescribe and subscribe to various things. So we recycle a lot. We are trying right now to move to zero plastic. We make sure that our guests understand that the luxury here doesn't mean we're going to change your sheets every day, because we're protecting the environment. So if you want them changed every day, you get them changed. But if not, we leave sheets on beds for at least 2 days. That is all in helping with making sure that we are not wasting water, that we are not using a lot of detergent that goes into our rivers and streams. We also have our own organic garden, so we try to do everything very fresh, very green. We like to say that we have almost zero food miles. So everything is done with a very conscious thought of how we're protecting the environment.
So you said so in other words, you guys get like real fresh fish.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, not something that's sitting on.
No, definitely not. Our menu changes every day, and in the evening, sometime at 5:36 is when the chef is writing the menu, because he'll base the menu on what he gets in for the day, from the fisher folk and the farmers.
So, wow. So, we're in a world where a lot of us are now focused on the environment, because we're seeing all these different diseases that we're not even clear what is causing them. And so people are a little bit more health conscious in terms of the environment. So I think it's good to be able to say, I can go to a resort where, this is something that is held uppermost in their mind in terms of how they treat the guests. So now, what type of people would you say? What kind of a guest do you say you see at Hermitage?
Okay, so
the combination, is it mainly people who, just...
There's a combination. I mean, we're a big honeymoon destination because we're so secluded, and some people would say that we're also very sexy. But we also attract a lot of guests who's trying to reconnect with themselves and each other. So we don't have music around the bar during the day. We don't have pool, volleyball, anything like that. We allow people to have their peace, their quiet, that they can reconnect with themselves and each other. We do yoga, meditation, Pilates, all that is included in what you would pay. So we attract a wide range. We've had guests who've come and stayed 3 weeks.
Wow.
We've had guests who stayed 3 days just to reconnect.
Yeah, so you want to just kind of revive your soul.
Yes,
type of thing.
exactly.
That's the place to go.
Yeah, it's a healing space. It really is.
Space. And so, it sounds like what you do, they have to do, like you have to sometimes be the mommy to the guests and the mommy to the staff, because the staff have to be in good shape in order for them to give their best to the guests.
Well, most of my staff calls me mommy, which doesn't really feel too good sometimes, because some of them are much older than me. But I guess it's out of love and the way I connect with them. Because as you say, I see my role as not only taking care of the guests, but taking care of the staff. Because ultimately, we want our guests to be happy. And if we don't have happy and contented staff, our guest isn't going to be.
Right.
So yeah, my role is multifaceted, and I spend a lot of time listening to both staff and guests and trying to make sure that they have an easier time when they're there, and that when they leave with good memories. Guests wanting to come back, and staff also wanting to work there as well.
Now, do you guys is it like a kind of people that's into a lot of health stuff, or celebrity groups, people? You have a mixture in terms of that?
We don't do groups because we're so tiny. We're only 30 suites. But we do have our fair share of celebrities. our share of high-powered people who just want to get away from it all. They want to just leave all that hustle and bustle and come to a place where their every need is met. With 30 rooms, we have 125 staff, so the staff ratio is almost 2 to 1. And they're just really, really catered to and catered for.
Is it very expensive? Is it pricey?
Well, it depends on how you look at
Depends on what you
pricing.
want, right?
But our rates start from approximately 800 US a night and can go as high as almost 3,000 US, and that's all inclusive.
It's really exclusive.
It is, yes.
All right. It sounds like you really provide an extremely wonderful service there, and I think what I'm even more impressed with is that you're not someone who is a single woman and has nobody to worry about. You have a family of your own, and you're managing those things that seem wonderfully, And then you not only have to worry about family, you have to worry about first about at home. It's the husband, it's the child, two different relationships there, even though it's one family. And then you go and then they're the employees, or staff, and they're the guests.
Yeah.
And so you have to really be able to balance and hold those things together.
Yeah, I have to balance, and I have a lot of support. I have a lot of support from my husband. His mom lives with us as well, and now my mom is staying as well. So now I'm here, and
I'm extended family for the young
and I'm totally at ease with coming out here and doing the work for the hotel because I know home is okay. I incorporate as well. Jerry does a lot in terms of the hotel has a football team. So Jerry is one of the coaches. So I kind of blend to make things easier.
Yeah.
But it's a juggle. It's not easy. But I'm really blessed to have understanding family and a partner and friends too who help me out. Run a rear to different activities and that type of thing. So for example, like on Christmas Day, I'll start off having opening gifts and breakfast with my family. And then I'll leave home at about 9:30, rush to the hotel, be there for when the guest comes down for their Christmas breakfast. And I'll be there as well at lunchtime to serve the staff because on Christmas, as managers, we serve the staff. And then I'll rush back home, have Christmas lunch at about 3 o'clock at home. Then I'll rush back to the hotel at about 6:30 with Jerry, and we'll have Christmas dinner with the guests. So it's a juggle.
It sounds like a juggling act, but obviously one you enjoy.
I enjoy it. I think hospitality, to do it at the level in which we do it at Hermitage, you can't do it unless you really, really enjoy it.
Right. So, are you at this point, is Antigua permanently home? Are you ever going to go back to St. Vincent? Or are you just going to, this is home because the hubby is from Antigua, and then you just visit? Are you going to go to St. Vincent?
No, not at all. I'm Vincy to the bone, but I'm also proud Antigua. When I speak of home, if I was to refer to home, I'm referring to St. Vincent most times.
Of course.
But I love Antigua. And from my industry, my field, it's really good for me. Whether or not I'll ever go back to St. Vincent to live full time, I doubt it.
Right.
I really do, but in some way, shape or form, I'd love to give back in terms of the tourism product. I'd like to be a part of it, to help to enhance it in any way I can.
Right.
And I've offered.
Right. I mean, you definitely is, and you're definitely an expert in that industry. And the thing with sometimes what I say with our folks, we have some of the best talent, and other people outside recognize those talents. But it takes a while, they say prophet has no honor in their own land.
Yes.
But somebody from Antigua or from United States or wherever could recognize that, because I think I heard of Hermitage Bay Resort because you're there.
Right.
I really never heard of it before. Is it one of those things that they don't necessarily advertise, that they just have a clientele that keep coming?
Yeah. Like, we're only 11 years old. And we have been blessed that...
How many years have you been there?
I've been there 10 and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we've been blessed that our reputation speaks for itself, so our repeat business is really strong. And a lot of our guests come because of word of mouth. So we really don't do a lot of advertising. We're really secluded. We're not snobby, but we don't need to be splashed
Right.
on pages,
You
because
keep it
we're
small
doing
and personal.
because
small
we're
and
doing our thing, and we're very, very good at it. So we've been doing well.
Wow.
We've just won Condé Nast Travel, just listed the top 100 properties in the Caribbean, and we're number 3.
So I think you said a number 3 of 100
Yes,
hotels in the Caribbean. Oh,
Yes.
wow, that is impressive.
it is impressive.
That is very impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're tickled pink.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Number
Not
3.
30. Number
3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Wow, that is impressive. That is
Yeah.
impressive. Well, congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I think St. Vincent should be proud of you. You know, you're from our soil. And it's good when you see our people are recognized worldwide for their good efforts and appreciated. You know, so thank you very much for coming on this edition of Soulful Scrutiny. Do you have any words, any parting words that you want to give, whether it's to potential guests or just to Vincentians, whatever, your parting words?
Well, it would be very nice if a lot of our local Caribbean people can experience Hermitage. And we understand that in today's dynamic tourism industry, it's not the 200-room hotels and it's not all the bells and whistles. People looking for simpler, clean, healthy place where they can rejuvenate their mind, body and soul. And that is what Hermitage is, and that is what I try to be in my daily life as well.
Well, you know, I think tell you my cousin-in-law, I said thanks very much for I'm seeing you so happy and knowing that you have that support and a good husband. And even grandma, because I know his mom she dotes on your daughter.
Oh yes,
so
she's
I think
been
also,
there from
like there's nothing, there's
Yeah.
nobody you would trust with your children but either your parents or your husband's parents, because your husband would have known how his mom raised him.
Yes.
You wouldn't know how your mom raised you.
Yeah.
So when kids have a chance to have grandparents take care of them, that is invaluable.
Yeah, having two in the same house is she's blessed.
She's blessed, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know their grandparents,
Yes.
you know? So that's wonderful. Well, Rachel Browne, I should say Rachel Charles Browne.
Yes, don't forget the Charles.
Let me put the Charles there, honey. You know, again, welcome to Soulful Scrutiny. Thanks for coming on the program with us. And thanks for watching. And we hope to entertain you with another interesting guest on another edition of Soulful Scrutiny. Thank you. Bye-bye.